What's going on, everybody? This is Mike. Starting out with the first video of hopefully many, where I use ChatGPT and I get a prompt from it and I turn it into something in Blender. Total disclaimer right from the start: I am a complete beginner in Blender. You'll probably see that throughout the video, where I misclick a lot of stuff. I pause for a couple seconds where I don't really know what to do or I don't know how to handle something. There's just so much to this application that I just don't understand. And I'm hoping that making this series and making these videos will really help build upon my skills in Blender and just, 3D modeling in general. So without further ado, let's get started. So getting right off into the nitty gritty of it, I started with a plane and just put it on the 0, 0, 0 area, whatever you want to call it, the 0x, 0y, 0z, like true center of the map or the floor, whatever you call it. And then for the rock, just added a what is that thing called? The thing that gives it more faces, right? So that's what I'm saying. Where I don't know the names of everything and whatever. I'm a beginner, but I gave it more faces, turned it into a bit of a circle, and then just chopped it halfway underneath, and kind of looks like a little island that you see in like a low poly thing. And by the way, the prompt, I know the video's in 4 times speed, but the prompt is a low poly island with a palm tree and some rocks and a boat, and I added a couple other things in there that we'll get to in the video. But for now, we're working on this tree. This tree is a nightmare. I don't know how to do natural curves. I don't know how to actively adjust it without destroying everything. Like you'll see me click through like yeah, like that. Like I don't know what I'm doing. So this tree is a bit of a nightmare. You'll eventually see I work through it, and it's like okay at best. Like it kind of looks like a tree. It also kind of looks like a deformed lamppost. Like I don't even know what you would call it, but it looks like a tree. It's day one, right? We'll get there. But and you're gonna see me use a lot of cheap tricks too, like stuff that is probably inefficient to people that have been doing this for years. Also, right there where I just blended it or I merged both things, I didn't um I didn't give the sphere at the top more faces. Again, I forget what it's called. I'll remember it one day. But I so now the sphere had you could see the faces on the sphere at the top, and then the bottom is or the tree post, the tree trunk. Yeah, there you go, right there. The tree trunk is smooth, right? And the sphere at the top looks like a golf ball. And I already merged it. I realized this halfway through, and I was like, man, I don't know how to unmerge it. And like I wanted to do this as a a little to no quick Googling as I could just to see where I was at. Like this is a good tracker to see how I'm doing or learn from, come back on this hopefully in the future and be like, wow, why did I do this when I could have done it this way? But speaking of nightmares, the leaves as well. Like it's a palm tree, it's supposed to look like a leaf, or this is supposed to look like the big leaves you'd see on a palm tree, but I don't know how to curve, right? So I just do all this wonky stuff to try and get it to curve, and it doesn't work. Like it, if you were looking at this from a mile away, you could probably make out the shape and be like, oh yeah, that's a palm tree. But like, and those leaves look okay. But like again, cheap tricks. Like I don't know how to do curves, so I just kind of bend it in sections. The leaf, I don't even know how to shape the leaves. That is something I'm definitely gonna work on after this video because I'm just looking at the way I'm doing this and it's just not working. Like I don't know how to make that round, Like I'm dealing with boxes and cubes and rectangles. Like, how do you make this round? So I do that. In my head, I'm like, all right, that looks pretty good, right? And somehow I got that center line down the middle, which while I was actually doing it, I was like, oh my god, I did it. I made a leaf split down the middle. It looks like a natural leaf. Oh my god, I'm the best at Blender, but I'm not. And I had an equally as hard time trying to get all this stuff together and get it what's it called? Get it attached to the golf ball at the top of the tree. And it's just it's coming out how it's coming out, you know. More cheap tricks, more not knowing what I'm doing. Like I don't know how to make that touch that, so I think I just end up moving it in, but you know, we'll learn as as we progress. I legitimately started this stuff a week ago ish, maybe. I don't even know. But yeah. So another cheap trick, because I don't know what I'm doing, I'm just shifting, duplicating everything, um, rotating it, you know, whatever, just trying to get stuff to where I want it to be. I also didn't have any references for this. I just kind of took the idea and left with it, or ran with it rather. Um, just took what ChatGPT gave me, and in my head, this is what a low poly island kind of looks like. Um, all in all, I'm pretty happy with the positioning of the palm leaves. I do adjust it, but like um I know I adjusted at some point, but I will say for the like where they are and how this looks, in all honesty, it looks like a low poly island. Like I feel like I did okay. The video's gonna get further and there's gonna be plenty more stuff. But for where I'm at right now, I think it's pretty good. So some more cheap tricks, you know, getting a good curvature in the leaf. Um, is that the right way to do it? I have no idea. I'm gonna do some studying and some research in my own time, but I just wanted to kind of get this video out to just you know show the process and the mindset of a true beginner. So now you can see, right? I'm trying to make coconuts and I use the blob thing and it just comes out so disgustingly weird. And now I'm trying to blend it and it's not blending. Like I don't even know what to do here. So I just leave it. Like I don't even know what to do. Move on, you know, just go do something else. It's like the same thing when I mesh together the ball and the cylinder for the tree. It's like I don't know how to undo it and I'm not skilled enough to know what to do. So I just let it rock. But now I start making some coconuts, right? Some little circles. I'm not good enough to put the bowling ball holes in the coconut or whatever. I can't do all that. So I just keep shifting them, kind of attach them a little bit, resize them a little bit. Nothing too fancy. Um, did a little scene building, put some coconuts on the floor. Like, it's an active island, right? It's not just it's a stationary picture or stationary render, but you know, it's an island. Just as I was patting myself on the back before, I had to adjust this leaf to make it more of a star pattern, and I think it looks way better. Uh, just from doing that, because like you could see the outline of a palm tree. So, but yeah, enough with the palm tree. I'm checking the prompt periodically because it ChatGPT kind of told me what to do, but at the same time, it didn't really tell me anything. It told me what the prompt was, like, make a tree, make an island, make some waves, make some rocks, make a boat, blah blah blah. But I was just double checking, seeing if there's any tips and tricks from ChatGPT that because it did show some keybinds and stuff. Some of it was good, some of it was just like, whatever. But yeah. So now we're on to making rocks. I think the rocks came out pretty good, all in all. When I'm thinking of like a small stranded island, I think there's just some jagged rocks on the outside of it. Uh, I could have added like a beach chair to it, but I am not there yet. So like rocks and circles and simple shapes, like that's my speed right now. But color wise, I have no idea how to use different colors and shading and adding textures and this and that and the other. I think at one point I tried to use the hair modifier for like coconuts and stuff. Just like kind of messing around, right? I don't know everything this app has to offer or this program has to offer. I don't know how to add like crazy textures or this and that and the other. Like you'll see people on YouTube, people on Reddit, and they're just going crazy in Blender. Like they're making like you can't even tell it's fake. I'm not that guy. Like I am not that guy. I hope one day I could be that guy, but for right now, I'm just doing simple colors. Um, like I don't even know what half the stuff means. Like what is roughness? What is IOR? What is alpha? Like I don't know. Hopefully I'll learn one day, but besides the point, whatever. So they look like rocks. It's close enough. If you were looking at them from a mile away, they're rocks, and it's an island. Like it's the scene is built, right? That's another thing. I just went into the camera. If the keybind is 0, I don't know how to adjust the camera from looking through the camera. Really nice to learn. That's going on my to-do list. Um, but yeah. So now you'll see me kind of tinker around the sculpt mode. I am familiar with remeshing to an extent. Sometimes remeshing just kind of messes everything up and makes everything a little weird. But I think I think remeshing that tree was the right idea. I knocked down the bald head at the top. It's no longer a golf ball now. It looks like a bald noggin or whatever. But yeah. So now it looks a little more like a tree. I would have liked to have added some kind of texture to it because palm trees have like those bands that go around it. That just ain't me though. I don't know how to do it. But so here we go. I'm starting to make the boat. This surprisingly wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be, right? Like I have squares. Now they want me to make the squares round in the shape of a boat. So, going back to the subdivision, that's it. Going back to the subdivision, uh you elongate the cube a little bit and it kind of turns into its own weird little like oval gemstone kind of thing. It's got like jagged edges and whatever. Um, that first maneuver I did, I don't even know how I did it. Like I don't know how I got the bottom to be the outside of the ship, but it works. It's the shape of a boat. It's a cheap trick. I know no professionals using it, but I used it and it somehow worked. Um, doing a lot of mirroring stuff. I try to add a cube here, and it just became one, and I had no idea what to do. I wanted to make it a motorboat, and then I was like, all right, let's not do that. Um, gave it a nice keel. I don't know why I did that either. I don't know why the cylinder got attached. Um, then I don't know why the cylinder got attached to it. Now it's like it's connected to it. I don't know what I did that was different from this entire time, but it just it would not unhook from it. So I ended up having to delete it, and when you delete one, they both delete. So that's something I gotta figure out where I went wrong. But yeah, I wanted to make the ship a little like on the sunken side, kinda super low poly, like you can see all the faces and stuff. Um, but didn't couldn't make it a motorboat, so I made it a sailboat, which now I'm working on the mast. Um, kind of a pain because at this point I kept trying to move it to and it just kept I turned the magnet off and it just was acting all weird. I had a hard time like making micro adjustments to it. Um, I wanted to set the scene as like kind of like a shipwreck, so I made the mast a little mangled up, right? It looks like it's a shipwreck. And then I merged them like an idiot because I forgot I made the same mistake twice in the same period because I wanted to make the mast a different color from the boat. I also had to, subdivide the boat or make it smooth and just merged everything again. Um So rookie move, right? Don't I'm not gonna merge until like, end of the product. Like when everything's done, I'm merging it. Not midway through. But got a nice sunken top half of the mesh, just made it jagged, just kind of making stuff up, seeing if it works. Um and then I wanted to make the sail. So again, I'm unfamiliar with all the modifiers and the physics modifiers and stuff like that. Also, they kept getting hooked to each other. I don't know why. So I want to make just a sail, like a shipwreck sail, a little sail. It's a little cartoony, right? Like I'm just doing a basic prompt. Like I'm not really going crazy. I go into the cloth physics panel and I don't know what I'm looking at. But and then it got hooked to the boat again. Don't understand why. Don't understand how I did that either. Um, but yeah, it's like I've seen videos in Blender where people just kind of drop the sailboat, like they drop a cloth on something and it just wraps around. I don't know how they do that. I think it's awesome. I really want to check that out. Um, but pretty much the remainder of the video is just me messing around with the camera, right? Changing colors, everything's the same color. Didn't know how to change, didn't know how to unlink them or whatever. So whatever. Uh, this camera is the bane of my existence. Like I don't know how to do any of this camera mumbo jumbo or the rendering mumbo jumbo. Um, but I'll get there, you know. But yeah, and then I start messing around with the lighting, which you'll see in a little bit here, because I eventually just gave up on the camera and deleted it. I was like I'm done with this stupid thing. Like it's not working. And then I did the light. So it looks really cool like that, where it's like, and then I just brought down the sun on this little island. But I like the little light that I had going like that, and then now we have 20 billion lumens from the sun. Um, but I think right there is probably the best I can get it for what I was working with. But all in all, it was a fun project, fun prompt. Look forward to doing way more. Feel free to drop a comment, drop a like, and I don't know why there's a skateboard there. All right, let's go. All right, have a good one.